excuses. There is a lot of ping pong, pick and play by the health workers. You go to a facility that has 16 health workers, you find only 2. My second findings were that all the health workers are paid on time. And in fact, when I went back to the health facility in the evening after my journey of launching different roads, I had the paperwork, the proof from the authorities that pay them. And none of them has any, government doesn't have any arrears with any of the health workers in Gulu district or Acholi sub-region for that matter. All of them are paid on time. And all of them were simply awaiting their July salary like any other government employee. So there is no excuse. The least paid person in terms of the nurses earns 1.4 million after taxes. The least paid person in terms of the other workers earns about 1.2 after taxes. The clinical officer, the one who is the in charge of the hospital, earns close to 5 million after taxes, with gratuity, with pensions, with all other benefits. So Ugandans, don't be fooled by these sympathy stories of, but you see their salaries they might not have been paid. Maybe they are paid poorly. No. Even at international standards, that's not a poor pay. We have Ugandans who are more qualified than those people, because I took trouble to liaise with the cow and I looked at their grades. We have people that are beyond performers in terms of academic grades, but they keep asking for jobs and they are not given these jobs. DHOs, stop recruiting your relatives. People are littering their concubines in government. So somebody won't go to work because they are going to be protected by their lover. Someone will not respect authority because they were brought by their relative. We are having NEPO employees in government who will not respect any authority. The Ministry of Health was very happy with our intervention, Honorable Bala Mandai, because he's also doing the same interventions where he is. So they cried out to us. They shared with me that they have a huge file of letters that they have been writing to local government all along, because people were asking, what is the Ministry of Health doing about this? The Ministry of Health is helpless. I want to inform Ugandans that health centers are under local government. They are supervised by local government. The Ministry of Health has 2 gross misconduct incidences. One of the state ministers of health was once insulted by a DHO. One of the state ministers of health, one of the ministers of state of Ministry of Health, because the DHO knew that she has no power over him. They are directly under local government because they are recruited by the districts and paid by the districts. If there is firing, if there is punitive measures, it is by the districts. That's why they don't respect Ministry of Health at all. Ministry of Health shared with me files. They sent me a video, a huge old file like this, where they were writing to Ministry of Local Government, to the former ministers, to so many people in local government, to commissioners, to complaining and beseeching local government to use an iron hand on the health workers. Because yes, in as much as it is health, but in terms of structure, they are under the local government. So people should understand that Ministry of Health too has tried to do their part. But because of the system that these people are under local government, it is local government essentially to take all means possible and prevail on these people. And it's what we are doing. You saw the clinical officer, the in charge, admitting himself on camera that his certificate is being used by someone in another health entity to do work under his certificate. Already that is fraud. First of all, it's fraud. Somebody cannot use your certificate, the same certificate that you gave government to employ you, to work unless it is you actually working or getting paid and the other person is like your front. People are having conflict of interest. There are all sorts of excuses. People sit at the hospital from morning to 3 p.m. The locals told me it is the first time that health center had no patient by 4 p.m. They told me it is the first time since its inception. They told me otherwise people sit there until they get tired. One of them told me that they worked on Saturday and got tired, and by Thursday they had given themselves a self-given off from Saturday to Thursday when the minister appeared. So if I had not gone there, I don't know when that person was planning to go. The president does not have holidays, doesn't take off days, he's always working. Even when he goes to his country home, he's always in meetings. Wakes up by 4, has to read reports. The PS sits in office up to 11 p.m. The senior minister, you see him, he works from Monday to Sunday. You see the Minister of State, so I don't know how a lab technician says, I worked on Saturday and I was tired. So they are not back until Thursday. If you're not back until maybe Tuesday or Monday, but Thursday, that's a week gone. Ugandans are stranded in these medical facilities. I spoke to the senior minister in the evening when we were comparing notes with where he is and where I am. And one of the fastest solutions is we need very, very close monitoring of these facilities. We need close monitoring. In fact, we are planning to have a call center where all these facilities are under surveillance 24 hours, and we have a call center where people can get help in real time, but also where the people working for the call center are trained to monitor those facilities 24 hours. As for the roads that I launched, I was very clear with the contractors. I want to repeat myself. Contractors, there will be no extension of time. There will be no money given to you, more money. There will be no games tolerated. I know you have a tendency of conniving with mafias in government. You get your contracts, you put funny clauses, questionable clauses, that in case the contractor is inconvenienced by government, in case there is delayed payment for a number of days, each day government will pay the contractor 100 million. That is insane. How can you say that in case there is delayed payment, in case the delay is by maybe the system is off, or there's a public holiday, that every day of delay that will not happen. Nobody's going to give you more money than what you quoted in your BOQs. You're going to do exactly what you quoted. If you don't, this is what the ministry is planning to do, led by the ministers. Your company will be blacklisted. We shall go ahead to write to all the governments through the president to expose you to all the other governments in East Africa and Africa, so that you can never be hired. You're blacklisted in Uganda, East Africa, and Africa at large. We shall not allow you for jobs that can be done by the local people, road gangs, cooks, casual laborers. We shall not allow you to ferry people from wherever to get them to that locality. The locals in that area are the ones that will do that work that needs, temporal skilling, quick solutions of work. No, we shall not allow you that work. And I had all the contractors commit. One committed 60 jobs, the other 50 jobs, the other about 70 jobs for the different roads, for the given roads. So we were very clear with them that within the month they were given, I am told they were given 6 months and latest 8, if it was up to me. If I had been part of that drafting, the drafts were out before we became ministers, but if I had been part of it, I would not give anything beyond 6 months. But let's just say it is 8 months maximum. Contractors, we are not even entertaining 1 day later. We are tired of government officials launching roads and they become botched projects. There shall never be a botched project under the Ministry of Local Government or in any district under any ministry when Honorable Balambaro Gahari is the senior minister and Honorable Nameere Justine Nsoboga is the Minister of State. Ugandans, there shall never be a dumped project, a botched project, a stifled project in any district ever again. As we move around to launch the roads, to do spot checks in the health facilities, we are getting more revelations and reports from whistleblowers and patriotic Ugandans voluntarily. Nobody's charging us. People just come and open up to us so that as government we are challenged to do better. I understand that there is even fraud in the restocking. I have heard of RDCs. We have asked for evidence. The evidence, part of it has been given to us. But I have heard of RDCs in the given districts where restocking is taking place who are conniving with some of the cows to put their relatives who are not from the given parishes and sub-counties, to put them there. Someone puts 5 falsified people, 5 million per person. That is already 25 million, a loss to government. Money that can do other things. We are hearing of instances where the percentage as per the law of revenue that is supposed to go down to the sub-counties and parishes to rehabilitate the boreholes, the wells, to do garbage management, it is being swindled. These things are going to be fixed. Hook or crook. Let me tell you something. In Rwanda, people are scared of working for government because they know working for government means doing what you're supposed to do. Here, everybody wants to work for government, especially local government, because they know you can sleep all you want, you can do all you want. That story has changed. Every teacher wants to go to a government school. When they reach there, they don't work. Then those of you who are easily fooled, you say, maybe they are poorly paid. Do you know the competition of teachers who are trying to get into government? I think from that day the president released the list of ministers, out of 50 phone calls, 30 are of people begging me to have their relatives put into government institutions. If government is poorly pays or delays payments, why is everyone dying? Why is everyone struggling to go into government, especially local government? Because they know that you will come to local government, eat free money, you can live when you want, you can teach when you want, and not teach when you want. No, it's that story is long gone. So long laziness, so long corruption, so long negligence, it is all long gone. There are spot checks we are going to do when we have spoken to the district authorities. And they prepare that we shall go here and here. There are spot checks we shall do out of the navy blue. You just see a minister at your school. And we are not going to stop because it's working. So I want to assure you, Ugandans, that your cries are being heard. We thank you. You're sending a lot of messages, a lot of empathy, a lot of encouragement. You are really standing with the fight to expose the corrupt and to clean up local government. I want to thank you, Ugandans. The few people who are against this fight, against corruption and against the corrupt, are guilty. You see some LC5s, some MPs running when no one is chasing them. The Bible says the guilty run when nobody is chasing them. And the Holy Quran, that's what the Holy Bible says. And the Holy Quran says the guilty run away from their own shadows. That's what the Holy Quran says. Those are similar messages. Out of the blue, you see an MP explaining. But you see, why are you explaining before you're questioned? You stay put in your district. Your questions are coming. Your time is coming. You will explain when we call for you. Why are you panicking? That you see the association of so and so, now we want to tell the ministers to come and take pictures with us. Nobody's going to take pictures with you. We don't have time for niceties. Ugandans are tired. Ugandans just want work done. That's all they want. Ugandans just contractors. You are used to thinking you have godfathers. Contractors take a lot of comfort in the belief that they have godfathers, godmothers, god aunties. It's not going to be business as usual. The only thing that is going to save you is not a godmother or godfather in government. It is doing the right thing. And by the way, you can even choose not to contract government jobs to avoid trouble. You can remain in your private business. You build people's homes, you work for private entities. But as long as you bring yourself to government, just know you're going to do the right thing. For as long as we are here, because the directives we have from His Excellency the President is remain with the people, keep on ground, get out of offices, monitor everything. That's the directive we have, and that's what we are doing. So the corrupt, nobody is going to protect you. You heard very well, General Muhoozi is very, very alert, waiting for anybody who wants to protect any corrupt person. People are looking for people to stand surety for them in court and police for bond. People have refused to go. People are calling ministers, save my relative. The ministers are switching off their phones because they know. General MK is very clear. If you're trying to play godfather or godmother to a thief, then you have to explain why you're still in government. So this is very simple. Let's do the right thing. Let's love our country. Stop referring to all these countries. But you see the countries you love referring to in Europe, in America, in Rwanda, where those countries have zero tolerance to corruption. Zero. The United Arab Emirates, these countries have corruption as capital crime. It is treason. It is death penalty for them. So, like I said, as I conclude, the style of President Museveni is piecemeal leadership. He does one thing, does it properly, then embarks on another. So in the past, he has embarked on woman empowerment, girl-child empowerment. He has fought the 6 killer diseases, professionalized the army, the police, embarked on a robust security environment, enabling environment, had a huge number of people going into the money economy. We have about close to 70% now, or 75% into the money economy. Now this term, his focus is on fighting corruption. The same energies you have seen him lay into the other programs and into the other deliberate efforts is the same energy you're going to see him fuse into fighting corruption. So don't fall prey. This is a government stand. This is a government position. No amount of press conferences is going to change it. No intimidation from some opposition opportunists shall be tolerated. Nothing is going to change the fight against corruption. As you can see, KCCA has also picked up. Now their ED and the authorities are in the field, sub-county by sub-county, ward by ward, parish by parish. I was so happy to see Dr. Diana and the team from Ministry of Health in Hoima. And I'm so happy they took up the president's advice, because the president told them that mistake that you make is when you go to those places, you go straight to the government hospital. These people are warned and they come running. He said when you go to the private hospitals. And that's what they did. Those are all guerrilla war tactics from His Excellency the President. And indeed, when the PS of Ministry of Health went to the private facilities in Hoima, they were all packed with government-employed doctors, surgeons, seniors who were paid 20-something million. Senior nurses, all of them. And what was in the government facilities? Receptionists and interns. The president told them this is simple. Stop announcing your arrival and stop going to the government first. Because they will run and do what you want. They will run and position themselves. No, you see, while you were there, I was in the maternity and lied to you. You go to the private. And they got them, arrested them. So this is a 360 battle. When you go to Ministry of Works, Honorable Byamukama is there. Unearthing all sorts of dirt. Trillions of lost money. Trillions of people who call themselves professionals, people who call themselves so-called engineers and accountants, stealing in broad daylight. So it is game over for the corrupt. You have nowhere to run. The only place you have to run is the truth. Do the right thing, be truthful, take a little interest home, but when it's honest, and leave a good legacy and impact. Thank you so much. The gentleman that talked about people who have been deployed in the new districts. but they still commute from the cities nearby. For example, someone has to go to Padel, someone has to go to Lamore, someone has to go to Noya, but they are sleeping in Gulu city. That is where the late coming comes in. So we advise you people, you even find that, for example, some government facilities, there were even staff quarters at that health center, but people were seriously commuting from Gulu. So this is just about people not understanding what government service is all about. And that's why we have to bulldoze common sense into some people. We literally have to bulldoze common sense into some people, and we're going to do it. If you cannot get out of Gulu city and go to the district where you've been deployed, leave the job. There is someone in Noya who is willing to sleep in Noya and be at work at 7 to attend to Ugandans. They are there. I even saw some opposition MP saying, Honorable Balaam and Honorable Nameere, you're being too harsh to the thieves. Now what government employees are going to do, all employees in local government are going to put down their tools and they want to go back to work. Kindly do it. Because first of all, many of you are irregularly deployed. You know, many of you don't deserve those jobs. If we went down to the real sieve of who is supposed to work in the office you're working for, you local government employees, you are aware that many of you cannot pass the meritable test. Many of you are there because you're relatives to people, because you're girlfriends to people, because you're concubines, because you're what, but not because you're there on merit. So if that chance came, you don't know the relief that government would get. We would have a chance to deploy patriotic Ugandans with better qualifications than you. So I dare you to try it. Just try. Ugandans, the people looking for jobs are more than the people who have jobs in government. Every district engineer has about 50 more engineers more qualified than him looking for the same job. We have 146 districts. Every district health officer has a patriotic doctor out there, or Ugandan, or medical personnel, or administrator waiting for that job, saying, if I could be given the job of district health officer Dokolo, I would make a turnaround in this district. So please, if you really, this man of what, Zungulube, over what? You know, there are MPs, we still have constituencies in Uganda who vote people because of jokes. That if you crack the most jokes, if you're able to be a comedian at the rallies, that the voters give you votes. We still have such constituencies in Uganda, sadly. So, this person of Manyazunguru, Babuzungu, what? Those jokers thought that local government is the comedy that brought him to parliament. You go and even incite them to lay down their tools. In 3 days, in 72 hours, government would have a finer version or a 10 times better version of the person who has put down their tools. People have stolen. People have been CFOs for 32 years. I know a CFO who we are investigating right now. I won't mention the district because I will tap them. I don't want to wake them up. But there is a CFO who we are investigating. He has been a CFO for 32 years. The town where he's a CFO, in the district where he's a CFO, he owns almost the whole town. Buildings, banks are renting his buildings. He owns almost the whole town, a CFO. Now, if that one laid down his tools, we would be the happiest. We would have another thief gone without going into the rigorous processes of court. So please make it as quick as possible. Those of you who want to lay down your tools, it would be the biggest relief. People are there that can do this work. Number 3, my brother here asked that, do you have evidence-based investigation? Very well. Our investigations are evidence-based. We even move with experts, and in fact, when we are at the time of prosecution, we shall have a lot of expert evidence because we move with experts. We can never go to a road where we didn't have an expert tour that road before. There are places we are going to next week. People don't know. Our experts are already there. Engineers who work with us are already there, verifying those roads, looking at different projects that people in the area don't know, not even the leaders. So because you see us coming in with our cameras in that facilitate us to expose the corrupt, we already we are making informed visits. We already have evidence from our whistleblowers, but that evidence has also been verified. We have people from CMI. General MK has given us teams. The president has given us teams from anti-corruption unit. We have commandos, we have whistleblowers, we have a number of people that you have no idea about. So our investigations and our visits are evidence-based. That's why you see that all the people that the minister called for, whose arrests the minister directed the other week, all the people that the minister directed should be arrested last week, not even the other week, but last week. All their files are ready. Some were arraigned before court, I think on Monday. Others are going today. There are those that are going on Tuesday. Their files are ready. A state attorney cannot sanction a file which has no evidence, because they know they're going to get to court and embarrass the state. So yes, the evidence is there. So, and some of them even confess. For example, yesterday in Nameere, the cow and I think the district health officer said they bought land from a certain man at 40 million. The man said, you bought my land at 12 million. And they even cheated him also, the poor man. They gave him only 8 million on the 12. But they are busy getting 40 million from government's coffers for, I think, a 50 by 100 piece of land in the village. So the evidence is there. You saw me with the clinical officer, the in charge of the health center in Gulu here. He himself said it in camera, that I'm sorry, my certificate is being used by someone to work for Reproductive Health Uganda. That is fraud. Some of these people are even confessing on their own. Others send people to apologize to us in private. So the evidence is there. The evidence is there. These people shall be arraigned before court. I want to assure Ugandans that one of the most special components about this particular campaign is, in the past, for example, the minister fighting corruption or economic monitoring or something, in the past they tried. But I think where the lacuna was is they would, for example, find somebody guilty of having swindled money for a bridge or for a toilet or for a maternity ward. But then it will have to stay like that until the court process, but in this case, after collecting evidence, we go on to make the claim good. If it's a breach, immediately we give it priority. In as much as its money was swindled, we make a double loss as government, do the breach, then when this person is found guilty, they will pay. The people don't become the victims through and through. If it's money for the road that was swindled, we shall have the culprit arrested, and as we move on with our court processes, we actually go back to the community and have the road done. If it's a maternity ward, respectively, considering the project. So people should be very ready to see a change.
Can I have a follow-up question? You're a lawyer and then having a suspect exposed on camera. What would you say about that?
No, we are exposing the corrupt. There is no law that prohibits the corrupt from being exposed on camera. There is no law. There is no law in Uganda. I am a lawyer by profession. There is no law that prohibits corrupt people from being exposed on camera. It's not there. Not in America, not anywhere. It's not there. Yes, you saw the American president, the current president. When Trump was in court in the US, Donald Trump, for suspected corruption, where they took him to court for illegal dealings, for swindling, for not paying tax, for under declarations, it was always, in fact, it would be live. Right from his arrest to arraigning in court to everything would be live on TV, national television, CNN. So no. Even Macron, I think even Macron at some point there was suspected corruption, and he went to court and defended himself. So no, there is no law that bars anybody from exposing the corrupt or even suspected corrupt people. It is not there. You have seen the Vice President of Kenya. He's in court, the former Vice President, for corruption. You have seen so many people. They are always publicly arraigned. So we shall continue to expose. The people who fear cameras are the guilty ones. I met a certain gentleman, Emmanuel Mwaka, and his sister Grace, here in the health center. I even gave them gifts. Emmanuel said we need to help him upgrade his education. Then the sister said for her, she's about 4 years to retirement, which we can just give her any gift. She doesn't want to upgrade the education because she's almost done with her service journey. And I gave her a small token as a Minister of State. She doesn't have any problem with the camera. And in fact, she was answering confidently when we approached her. She said, those are 4 babies. We had them last night. But she was able to tell us the challenges she faces, that you see, I'm working alone, my colleague is on sick leave, the bucket. She doesn't have any problem. In fact, it was me who was saying, oh, don't put the camera in front of the mothers. Don't put the camera near the babies. For her, she doesn't have any problem. She even escorted me up to my vehicle and said bye. She doesn't have any problem because she's not guilty of anything. When we were in Bulambuli, one of the headmistresses, a nun, a sister, but a headmistress, she didn't have any problem. She even brought us the visitors book. We signed. She said, please take a picture with me. I need to put it in the office. She asked for a picture from the senior minister and myself because she didn't have anything to hide. She would tell you senior 1A has 142 students and they are there. Senior 1B has 97 and they are 95, but 2 have gone home, they have a burial. And indeed, you call the chairman of the village, he says, yes, it's true, those children lost their relative, they are here today. So she didn't have any problem because she's not a thief, because she was speaking the truth. She had her books of records and accounts, very clearly. She said this year, government gave us 62 million, this year this, but if they could give us maybe a new library, her things, her way of administration and her modus operandi did not have any any taint of corruption. So she did fear the camera. She even said, please come again, Honorable. Maybe when we have a big day, an MDD day, a speech day, we shall invite you. We said we are very willing to come back. So that people you see that have a problem with being in front of the camera and being exposed are the corrupt, not those doing the right thing.
Thank you so much.